Thank you for inviting me. Yes.
Hey.
Yo, what's up, brother?
Yo, thanks for having me on, man.
Bro, your video quality is shit, bro.
Oh my God. All right.
Oh, so terrible, bro. You're a YouTuber or what, baby? Come on.
I
This
got my
is not.
5G on. I thought I was gonna be able to get it done. Oh
Oh,
man.
shit. What
Hold
5G?
up.
You did the Chinese plan, bitch.
All right. Give me
All right. All right, bro. Take your time, bro. That was fire already, bro. I'm out of control. You guys gotta. Yo, what's going on, Gavin? You looking beautiful today with the sunlight. I like the lighting. The lighting
Thank you.
is beautiful, bro. Bro, you got beautiful blue eyes, bro.
You're gonna make me blush, man. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Bro, you're so beautiful, bro.
There's a handsome guy.
Oh,
A
you.
Vibe Samurai in training. Let's get
Yes. Yes. White belt.
Yes,
Yes.
white
Thank
belt.
you. Honored to
Yes.
be here. What can I say?
Gavin, what do you think of this guy? You watched some of his stuff. I mean,
Of course.
both of you guys don't know anything about Asian culture. I think this will be very interesting. Oh no, you do. Gavin does. He's perfect, right? We're gonna get
Very
the
minimal.
contrast.
a little bit.
You think so? You don't know a lot
Well,
about Asia?
So my spiritual father is Asian, and everything that I know is mainly from kind of this like, Buddhism or like esoteric kind of teachings or whatever. I don't have any idea or connection to like everyday, like, as you said, identity or what it means to be Asian, especially with Mr. Fung and all of his like cuisine knowledge,
Right. Mm.
That especially is something that I would like to learn more of. Someone who wants to like know more how to cook, Let's start cooking.
Let's cook it in all kinds of ways. What's up,
But
Missy?
yeah, no.
Daddy Samurai. Hey, what's going on, guys? I don't know. I'm on Unk mode. What do we do with this guy? He's like frozen.
Yeah, I don't know
I
if
think
Andrew can hear us or not, but
yeah.
you are frozen.
all right. How is it?
Back.
Damn,
does it
bro,
look?
you scared the shit out of me,
How
bro.
does it
You were
look?
like
How
this.
does it look?
Bro, you were like this and you're like, yo,
Better.
what's
Am I it's valid? All right. So
it's valid,
shout out
bro.
to Paravita Wi-Fi. Okay. Sorry,
Paravita
guys.
Wi-Fi. We
I
sponsored.
wanted to take this live in the city, New York City.
Beautiful.
So
New York, bro.
just
I miss New
vibing.
York.
I was coming from an event. And I said, hey, I got to do a podcast. I'm sorry, I got a jet. And then I thought 5G was going to be good enough. It's not. So I'm stealing some Wi-Fi. So that's what's up.
Damn,
Amazing.
son.
Hey,
Bro,
but nice to meet you guys, man. I love the vibes. And first of all, I just want to say, I got a lot of friends who were sharing your videos recently in the past, like maybe month or two. And you just dropping knowledge and the whole brand of Vibe Sesh and Vibe Samurai is cool. So I'm rocking with it, man. It's cool to just it's cool to just connect with like people on the internet that like I don't even, to be honest, know that much about you. But I'm just like, hey, I like this guy's content, so let's just like jump on and see what happens.
Damn, that's what it was, bro. That's what it was. Wow. Damn.
Yeah, it's just content to content. Sorry, what was that?
No, do you identify with the whole intellectual omnivore kind of idea?
Oh, the intellectual omnivore. That was one of the videos for sure. You mean of people who can just talk about a lot of things? Like just they're down to just... Yeah, yeah, I like it.
That's you, bro. And you got to get absurd too. You got to get absurd, right?
No. Yeah. And here's the thing: I don't have to be high to get absurd, man. We can get. I also don't want to get canceled, though. To be honest, so I still have a career. I still got a career here, so.
Bro, you still worried about being canceled, bro? Come on.
I mean.
For now we're good.
Question.
For now we're good. You can say whatever the fuck you want.
Save space. Save space, guys.
Space. Exactly.
Okay. Save space. All right. And also in New York, like I could just say whatever I want and no one cares out loud, But.
Right. Hey, but the other thing though, Andrew, like this is why I really wanted to bring you up here, okay? It's very emotional, okay? Because it's been like my whole life I've lived with this, right? And I think you've given us a voice for us natty dicks. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
When you're not circumcised and shit, and
hell yeah,
you made me feel seen, bro. Nobody talked about
dude,
natty dicks like you did,
dude.
bro. Dude, can you set it up? Like, tell him about where you are. That
That
subway. Yeah. Mhm.
that is one of the best compliments that I've received recently. Is that you felt seen, and it's such a funny conversation starter with people that have seen it, and like so. I'll give you the context. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Kareem, I've known Kareem through New York. He's the Subway Takes guys. I've known him for a couple years, and I was trying to be on Subway Takes early on, and I had a completely different take. And then I couldn't make it, and it was a scheduling issue. And then like a year went by, and then I was like, you know what? I gotta bother Kareem again because I got
Uh-huh.
this new take. And I was like, I tested this take. I was doing stand-up comedy at the time, and I was like, I did the bit like a couple times.
Oh,
And I
you
was like,
did.
okay, yeah. I was like, it's going okay. I was like, all right, I think this is a solid bit. So a lot of the bits you'll see on Subway Takes from comedians are kind of like bits that they have sometimes,
Oh, okay.
right?
Uh-huh.
But
Uh-huh.
or they're just like funny thoughts that, you know, they could be a new take, but sometimes it's like a bit or a joke. But for me,
Uh-huh.
it was kind of it stems from a joke that I was already working on. But I was like,
Uh-huh.
nah, I gotta stand on this because like nobody's really repping and
That's
people
right,
are
bro.
uncomfortable about it.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
me and my close friends, we've talked about it. Not
yeah.
everybody's natty.
Yeah.
Some people are cut, but the natty guys, we always look at each other. We're like, yeah, fist pound.
Yeah,
You know,
bro, you defended
Got
natural
telepathy.
penis rights, bro. You defended
dude,
natural penis rights, bro.
dude, I'm
That's what
telling
you
you,
are, bro. You're defending the foreskin, bro. You're the defender
all
of the foreskin, bro.
all organic, all natural, no snips, no cuts, no reductions here, no folds, no pain. The only thing
Yeah. Mhm.
that we had to deal with growing up, and still maybe to this day, is like to a crowd that to most of the American population, which is actually most of them are cut, but not all of them are cut. Um, you grow up sometimes wondering, you're like, yo, is that? Because you also see, you know, pornography, and you're like, yo, is that how it's supposed to look? Like, is there something wrong with me? Or, you know, the first couple times you're with a girl who's this is her first time, and she's like, sometimes they don't notice and they play it off like they don't notice,
Yeah.
and sometimes they're like,
I felt
oh,
like
this
they
is
never notice. Do they
yeah.
ever notice? I feel like they never notice,
Um,
or they're hiding it well because I didn't notice anything. Them notice.
I think to be honest, most girls, like if it's like the first few times you're with them, they're not examining it. All right. So they're just like, it feels different, or they're like, oh, this like, you know, they're touching it and they're like, hey, this is a little different. And I'm like, oh, and then I point it out and they're like, oh, you're right. And they're like, oh, and I've gotten positive feedback like, oh, it's kind of fun. You know, it's
Why is it
and
fun,
it's
bro?
fun for
Why
it's
is
fun for us too. It's
But why
fun
is it
for
fun for them?
oh, why is it fun?
For
So
them? Yeah.
one girl said it's because like it's like you know, it's like a sleeve pulling over your arm, so it's like a hoodie that you go over. You know how people put the hoodie on and put it off, put it on, put it off, you know, and then you'll zip it up and then you'll zip it down, and it's like you know, it's kind of like it's like a it's like a sleeve, it's like a sheath, you know, for your samurai sword, you know.
Bro, you need your own Netflix special, bro. Bro,
Yeah.
you need your
I'll
own.
rep it, man. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to get too graphic, but I got a lot of foreskin, so like it's extra, you know, bro. Like it ain't because some dudes. No, let me tell you, I got friends and I didn't see it, but he told me, he was like, "Yo, when I like I'm erect, like it kind of like goes back down." You know what I'm saying? So it depends on how much skin you have to. Like, let me just tell you, I got a lot of hoodie, you know. So I'm very much this guy, you know, and I'm willing to rep it. No issue with guys who are cut. No judgment, but I will say this.
No judgment. He's
No,
so
I
cool.
will say this, guys,
Mm.
that the wars that are being fought right now are between two cut groups, okay? That's all I'm going to say. If that hits,
Dude,
if it
we gotta
hits, it
stand.
hits.
This is the first
Dog.
Vibe Sesh comedy, bro. We need to
Because you know what it is? Your life starts with violence. That's what I'm saying. That's my
Mm.
Theory.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
tell everybody about the drumsticks and the hoodies. Like, will the girl pick this or this? Right? Of course,
Oh,
yeah, and the drumsticks and the drumsticks.
because I was like, do you ever when you're eating a chicken drumstick, do you ever tear the skin off first? You
Do
don't,
you?
right?
No.
No,
No,
right?
That's kind of the
Exactly,
point,
bro.
bro.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't be a
Yeah.
psychopath. Or let's say a girl wants to borrow some clothes. What does she usually put on? The crew neck or the hoodie?
Which one, guys? Which
It's
one?
always the
Which
hoodie.
one?
Always
it's
the hoodie.
always the hoodie.
Oh, it's
It's
the
always the
hoodie,
hoodie. It's
bro.
always the hoodie.
Oh,
It's always
wow.
the hoodie,
See, this
man.
is, bro, you're making me feel sad. You're making me feel good about having a hoodie, bro. No, I'm serious, bro.
I,
51 years, and I've been
I,
ashamed of my hoodie, bro. I'm going to be honest right now. It all comes out on raw.
yeah.
I've been ashamed
But
of
you
my
know what's
hoodies.
funny is that there's actually a trend in America now that there's a little bit less cutting now. So more and more parents are going full natty on their kids, and because especially I feel like especially as long as it's true you got to clean it though. I mean you should always clean it, but you
Bro,
definitely got to clean
yeah.
it.
No,
You
but
do.
what about the feta cheese part, bro?
Oh my
Ooh,
god. No, I had to. And here's the thing.
Why
I'm
did
riding for
all
the
of us
squad.
laugh
No,
like that immediately when you said feta cheese? Why?
I'm riding for the squad, but I also got to keep it 100% real.
Okay.
I keep it real, guys.
All right, keep it real.
That there is a thing called knob cheese. All right, and we know this. If I think it's a British term. Apparently a lot of Brits are full natty too, but if
nah.
there can be knob cheese over time if you don't pull it back and wash it. So I'm saying nowadays you just gotta, just
Some people
you
do
know.
that. They don't pull back and wash, bro. What is
No, I
that?
meant like
Laziness or what, bro? Why are they
yeah,
not pulling back?
or they don't do it every day, or they go like
Mm.
weeks without it, and yeah, so just it is a thing
Okay.
to think about it. But I'll tell you this, I feel like it keeps you humble. It keeps you humble.
Mm.
Keeps you honest. Yeah.
Bro, Andrew. So because I want to get to identity because you
Sure.
started. Let's start
That
from
is
the
my
beginning.
first identity. For by the way,
Which one?
The
above
hoodie
Asian,
game.
it's natty. It's natty.
Bro, you gotta work that into your comedy. It's fucking yeah, Asianness, bro. So go over your YouTube history. What I was surprised with while I was looking into your stuff, you are an OG YouTuber. Like, when did you
Dude.
start? And you got 10 million views, 15 million views, and it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
all
yeah.
talking about Asians. So I'm wondering,
Yeah.
like, damn, 10 million Asians were watching that shit, or were there white people watching that shit?
No.
Or but they were being seen. You were one of the first creators to make Asians feel seen, guys.
Uh,
It's
thank you, thank
unbelievable.
you. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not the first Asian YouTuber. Me and my bro, we're definitely not the first. There's definitely before us. But as far as like hitting the topic of kind of translating Asian American culture, or I would say narrating it, not necessarily making it up. I don't want to take credit for making up any culture, but we definitely labeled it. We talked about it. We gave it its proper spotlight, and we treated it like a real subculture. And I feel
Mm.
like, thank you for acknowledging that is what we did. Like, I didn't create it. I didn't create boba. Like, we talked about boba. What does boba mean? How come boba shops are such a bubble tea
What?
shops, right? Are such
Explain the
a
bubble. Explain to these white guys what
no,
the
I mean, you
bubble.
guys probably know. You guys have had it before. Of course, right?
Boba
Oh,
Yeah,
tea.
you
Yes.
have?
but
Oh shit!
Yeah,
the
Sorry,
history.
boba
guys. I
tea.
thought it was
Dude,
I haven't
it's
been in America
mainstream
for a
now.
while, bro. I
Dude,
haven't
how
been
long
in
have you been in Brazil? Come on.
bro.
Where are you at?
10 years,
Are
bro.
you
I
in
gotta go
Rio? Are
back.
you in Rio?
I'm
You're
in
in Rio?
Florianopolis, bro. Florianopolis. You know
I see. I don't
Florianopolis?
even. You lost me, bro. I don't even know. Florianopolis.
Bro, that's the secret little
Okay.
thing. We gotta do a
Okay.
thing. We gotta
Great.
do collabs, bro, in New York,
Okay.
and
Okay.
yeah, okay.
All right. So yeah, I mean, I think shout out to my brother that was my partner, and he's still my partner, but he's in Asia right now. So it's funny. You and him share. He's a different conversation too than me. But I think like
Wow.
we always
Yeah.
wanted to. We always felt this urge to like. So I will say like being inspired by a lot of black comedians or
Mm.
black artists on how they were repping the black community, or like they were just talking about it. They were like, hey, we got these dynamics. This is what it is. You know, white people are like this, black people are like this, or like, you know, light skins are like this, and then black people, you know, they have all these jokes and all this like depth to it. And I was like, hey, like Asians, like I watch all these black comedians, I love them. I'm totally influenced by them, but I'm like, we're just like, hey, like we could, like, no one's really talking about being Asian in a similar way, like kind of breaking it down like that. It might not, it's not the same, by the way. I'm not saying being Asian and being like African American are the same, but absolutely we have our culture, we have our groups, we have our internal differences, we have our visual differences, we have our motherland politics, we have history, we have diaspora, we have all this stuff where it was like, hey, we have, and then we have all the food. I didn't even mention the food. And then we have all these dynamics when we come to America, you know what I mean? Dating, you know, how Asian women are perceived, how Asian men are perceived, blah, blah, blah. All this stuff. And then we were like, we were aware of all this stuff. And we're just like, yo, there's so much to talk about. Why can't we talk about it? So we started making videos.
Exactly,
and like,
bro. Well, no one was talking about it, bro.
Not really, not hitting the head on the hammer like so many times. And then, you know, we even had other really good YouTube friends that were earnestly like, hey guys, like, are you gonna make every video about being Asian? And then we were like, and these were other great, bigger YouTubers than us, and they were still questioning, and we were like, dude, we have like 1 billion plus people, 2 billion if you count, you know, South Asians, right? Which we should, but you know, I'm just saying.
Yeah, why didn't you count that, bro?
There.
You racist,
no.
No. We can't get you canceled. Sorry, he's not racist. Sorry. Vibe Sesh.
So yeah, 2 billion people. We have like up to 5,000 years of history. You don't think we got enough stuff to talk about? And I was like, I don't think we're gonna run out of content. You know what I mean? And so we just kept going at it. And even if some people felt it was redundant because they saw that we could also talk about other things. You know, we have other big videos just talking about sneakers, doing makeovers, talking about haircuts, talking about
culture, Air Jordans,
culture,
and all that, right?
all Jordan, basketball. You know, we're very culturally fluid, you know, in what we can talk about. But we chose to heavily focus on Asian stuff. And I know that some people are like, why are you always talking about being Asian? Or like, maybe they just like our basketball stuff. They're like, man, you guys just like keep talking about basketball. Why are you talking about being Asian? And we're just like, I'm sorry, like our channel is going to have everything. And so as the years go on and things evolve, channels are asked essentially by the market to kind of specialize, right? And this is why when you start content, you're Vibe Samurai. You're talking about this. You're breaking down like, you know, like psychology, mental health, all this stuff, right? And you're probably not going to go on a food tour and start doing mukbangs, right? It wouldn't really, I mean, some people might watch it. Why not? You can, but I wouldn't recommend it.
You wouldn't recommend it, bro?
I wouldn't recommend it.
Oh.
No, you can do different stuff on live, and this is very like personable, but like if you were just trying to grow your channel to the maximum, you keep it on one topic so that people know what they can expect, right? The Food Network is all about food, the TV channels, right? You know? So as time went on, I think the market kind of said like, hey, everybody's specializing in stuff. There's full-on basketball channels, there's full-on sneaker channels, there's full-on political channels. And there's still not that many full-on Asian channels. And we were like, yo, we know how to talk about Asian shit. Like, we're still gonna go at it. And like, you know, this is a topic that we feel comfortable making another like 500 videos about because it's obviously personal to me. It's means something to me and my friends and my culture. And honestly, it is actually still a relevant identity. And it's gonna be for many years to come. I mean, even the whole thing between America and China is gonna be an ongoing tug of war contest and like frenemy thing for decades. Honestly, it won't get solved even, I don't even know in our lifetime. I think they're just going to be kind of these frenemy rivals for a long time, you know?
Hey, but so you don't think like us as Asian Americans, because I see this, I don't have kids, but I have a nephew and niece. And so I see it, right? In the next generation, like they've lost a lot of the Asianness. Right. So like what we experience might just be a transition period, because to be honest, like even for me, I used to be more Asian centric. But as I've gotten older and like understanding the world better, and I'm like kind of more Buddhist, right? Like what is identity, right? And then like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So like
Buddhism,
questioning
a
it.
lot of it's like let go, right? Like, I guess not to sum it up, but I mean, that's one of the aspects of Buddhism, right? It's kind of like, yeah, like, no. And I think, so
Unattachment.
yeah.
Yeah, but there's
Well,
like
you study Buddhism, right? Yeah. So
yeah.
cool.
You think there's a transition period right here, or do you think? Yeah, that's what,
So in my opinion, the truth is like, as Asia rises up to power and Asia gets more powerful, there's actually the Asian culture keeps getting kind of refreshed because there's more and more immigrants coming over, and there's also more and more content and culture from there, and more people going back and forth. Now, simultaneously, both countries are becoming a little bit more like each other. I think obviously Asia, you could say, obviously got more Western influence earlier on and quicker, but by all means, I'm in New York City and I see literal Chinese fast food chains popping up all over New York.
fast
And there's
food
obviously
chains? Damn.
yeah, and
From
obviously
China,
there's more
from mainland,
yeah,
from the
yeah. They're not even luxury in China. They're literally fast food in China, and they're coming to New York. So I'm saying, and that's just like a small little example, you know. And there's more and more Mandarin classes. My little nephews in the Bay Area are growing up more Chinese than I was, and they're not even full Chinese, right? They're mixed. So, but they're going to immersion school, and so half of their day is literally in Mandarin. And I'm just like, dude, that's more like China, because I grew up trying to assimilate. My parents did speak enough English where it's like we didn't have to speak the language at home. So I in a weird way, there's certain like, depending on who you are, I think it's gonna get refreshed. And I don't think there's anything wrong fully with Asian kids like becoming more Americanized. Like, it's like, it's funny because like as Asian Americans, a lot of I don't want to say complaining, but a lot of the rhetoric was like, when are Asians going to be treated just like any other American, right? But then we're getting there a little bit closer now. We're like every year in the past 20 years, we've seen, changes in that. And then you start to realize you're like, well, treated like any other American, does that mean they're erasing our identity? That now everybody's like seen as the exact same, right? I think you want to be equal, but not seen as the same. And I think it's just it's a tricky space, and it's a tricky thing to explain to people who maybe want to think about things very black and white. Like, are you going to be American, or are you this yellow Asian shit where you're like always repping Asian stuff and you're just an Asian living in America, or you're
right.
You're gonna be a good old American.
Like,
which one are you? Yeah, and I get it.
No nuance, right?
And in their defense, it is a more complex thing. I understand, and it kind of takes like people like for Americans to have traveled a little bit and seen these things, and I I don't always want to be here in everybody's face in America being like, oh, yo, it's all about Asian power. Like, it's not, I'm like, we don't need to say that. Like, that was when we were kids. We had to have like Asian pride. Do you remember that time? Asian pride? Wait, where are you from real quick? Just so I get a little background.
Gavin. Oh, me?
Yeah.
No, Bruno.
Me, Vibe?
So what is your name? Yeah, Vibe. I'll call you just Vibe. Don't even tell me your government. Where are you from though? Like, where did you grow up?
I grew up in New York, bro. In Flushing,
you're
Queens.
Flushing.
I'm from Flushing, Queens. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So do you remember? I don't know if you remember this time about like Asian pride. I mean, I think I don't know if you're older than me, but yeah, probably, but not like by 20 years. Like
I'm 51. I'm 51.
Okay, 20 years. All right, so ish. Dang. You're good for 51, bro.
Oh, really? Okay. Damn, that's a compliment. Damn.
So anyways, like, yeah, I mean, I just think the whole attitude, I think, a lot of Asian Americans are evolving in their message and growing up, to put it plainly, it's kind of like you're growing up here and you kind of decide, oh, am I going to be more white or black? Or fob Asian, right? Fresh off the boat Asian, right? It's either like you're fob, you're gonna sink into anime, C-pop, K-pop, J-pop at the time, Gundam Wing, Pokemon, blah blah blah. You're gonna live in this world, and you're gonna be on your Game Boy with big ass
Yeah.
glasses, or you're gonna lean into like white Americanness, right? Like all American, which wasn't the wrong answer at the time. A lot of people were.
Mhm.
Or you're gonna lean more into the minority culture, which was led by black people, you know, and that was like I was kind of
Mm.
like in between, you know, those two kind of mishmashing, you know, taking
Mhm.
from here
Mm.
and like my influences. And I was like, oh, love rap, basketball, sneakers, you know, but obviously all the girls that I liked at school were white. You know, so I'm like, shoot, do I put on my Abercrombie and Fitch and pop the collar and all? So,
All right.
you
Bro,
know,
bro, how has that changed the dating between,
dating. I
that
mean,
time and now? At that time and now,
oh,
it must be very different.
it's definitely different. It's definitely different. I wouldn't say it's like flipped like 180. It's not flipped the script. You know, I still think they, but I think, yeah, like with the younger generation, man, they're a lot more open to it. Like,
Right.
dude,
Yes.
when you meet a girl who like she's not Asian and she's learned some Mandarin, you're like so much closer. I'm so, or
Right.
if
Oh
she's
my
really into,
God.
dude, if
Women
she's
are
really
learning
into
Mandarin? Damn. I
K-pop,
gotta
if they're
finish
really
some.
into K-pop, K-dramas, you know what I mean? Like
Yes.
that whole thing.
But
If
bro,
they've,
but this is what I'm saying.
but
Like
that's
this.
not guaranteed. I don't want to say it's
Mhm.
easy. You know,
Yeah.
nothing's easy. But I'll say this: that a lot more of your like, I guess top tier, like good-looking, stylish Asian guys, when they're dating around, they have a lot wider pool than they used to. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Right.
so it's definitely uh the playing field has definitely evened a little bit, right? I would still say
Mm-hmm.
a lot of, I mean, it just depends on where you're at, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest, man.
Yeah.
That's all
Yeah.
I can say. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Bro, isn't it crazy? This it's really amazing to have seen this evolution, right? Like, like the impact K-pop and K-drama had, right? Like I remember, bro, in the 90s, I was in Flushing and my parents were watching Korean TV. There's two Korean channels. And so I would walk by and then there would be like boy bands and they were terrible. And I was like, this is so corny. I can't even watch this shit, right? And then at some point, some government official got on the news and said, you know what?
Mm,
We're going to invest in our media and we want to export our culture.
yeah.
It was an explicit initiative of the government to export their culture, invested
Big
billions,
move.
and then boom, K-pop, K-drama. And what I'm saying is like so much of this stuff is conditioned, right? So like if you
Yeah.
show more Asians and more Asians are not just a nerdy math guy or a skinny dude, or, small penis
Yeah.
dude, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it
Yep.
changes things. And I remember talking to my friends about this at the time when like, we used to say like nothing's gonna change this unless you change the culture, media,
Yeah.
culture.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think about all that? Yeah, but it was amazing.
So,
This whole
s-
how it changed
no,
people.
it's been huge. But what I will say is it's a multi-factorial equation, man.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
like the media is definitely has changed and has helped, because what people see, people are influenced by media. They're like, once a girl can imagine you as a love lead or in a romance movie,
Hmm.
then it helps a lot. Like just that imagery helps, you know what I mean? And I'm not to say like, oh, it's so easy, like, to
Hmm.
put down on the whatever, how women think, but men, we all think this way too. But I'm just saying, like, when you start to see Asians in K dramas and as loving people and as handsome people, as buff people, as like, they make love, whatever. And it's
They
like,
make love.
yeah, no, people needed to see that. People needed to see an Asian guy just
You're right.
smash. Like in
Really?
just, just the bot, like even under the sheets, they just needed to see that,
That's enough.
because they just needed to know that we even used them. You know what I'm saying? But it's always, but what I think is even more influential, and this is my take, is in person. So when things align, where the Asians get cooler, they get more bold, more confident, more stylish, more out there, more, you know, even I think the statistics that Asians are even getting taller as the years go on too, because like
Really?
a lot of our grandparents, like they didn't eat a lot of
All
meat, you
right.
know, so we don't know how tall they're actually supposed to be. They could be supposed to be an inch or two taller. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying like now like Asians are essentially more trained. They're more putting their mind to this. And I think the Asian guys got cooler and everything got better. So the media made us look cooler. And the Asian guys still, because at the end of the day, listen, if all the Asian dudes are nerdy and I'm sorry to say, but very fobby in an unappealing way. First of all, there's cool fobs, but there's like the unappealing, you know, dorky fobs. Like if all the Asian guys are like that and the media paints us as cool, it still doesn't really have the impact. It's not like they're like, oh, this guy, okay, yeah, I still love Asians. No, it's not gonna work that way. It has to match up close enough. So like when they watch a K drama, C drama, or Jeremy Lin, right? Where it breaks the consciousness of the mass population, where they're like, hey, look at this Asian guy, like kind of doing, they're athletic, they're speaking English, they're kind of cool, they're not bad looking. Like, look at this guy, like tearing it up, you know. So those things, everything, you know, comes together. And I think it was like, it's totally it's due to the era, it's due to the concerted efforts of, you know, South Korea and even all the other Asian countries, but South Korea for sure. I'm not gonna lie, they deliberately went for it. And so there's this funny quote. Man, somebody left this on my. So it goes. It made me laugh. It goes. Japanese made the West love Asian culture. Korea made the West love Asian man. And China is just always gonna rival the West. And I was like, oh shit, all right.
Oh, damn.
Like China's just never gonna get westernized because it's too big. It's too much of its own monster.
Hey,
But
let's see. Let's take a question here. Why people
sure.
come here to talk about Asian identity, complaining about it being about Asians?
What?
Does anyone make it? Does this make sense?
Maybe some people talking smack in the comments.
Yeah, I think
that's
people
what
just
he's
hate.
talking to.
Bro, this guy is one of our omnivore guys. You know that? That's Tobias, isn't it? Or
yeah,
no?
that's Tobias.
Yeah.
What's the question?
I don't know, bro. I don't know if he's being a troll or
Slightly
what.
high. You can unpin that.
Oh yeah, I'm pinned that.
Hey,
Okay,
I'm curious. What
go ahead,
is
Cisco.
like? Well, what's the beef between the Asians? Is there any beef going on? I'm curious.
Okay.
Hey, Andrew, is there?
Oh, it's that's pretty funny. This guy is super juiced on all my material right now.
I do my prep work, man.
You were splurging my content right before this. Beef today in America between, I would say on a large scale, not really that much right now. Obviously, the motherland stuff can fuel some beefs if like people are very tapped into that. But most of like American-born Asians, I think the beefs are over. But in the past, for sure, you know, when everybody is even as an immigrant, you know, or young teenage kids or immigrants, you know, they're gonna just rep for their own squad versus like this larger Asian identity, you know?
Sure.
So I think obviously coming from World War II, like you could say, oh, a lot of like Koreans or not all Chinese, but a segment of Chinese, maybe half Chinese were like against Japanese people for a while. Like you would still meet some Chinese whose parents or grandparents were like, I will not buy a Japanese car. I will not buy a Honda or a Toyota. All right. And then as far as And then obviously the China Taiwan thing, but that was more of a thing when maybe 15 years ago, 10 years, like more than 10 plus years ago, it was more of a, oh, I'm Taiwanese, I'm not Chinese, dude. And then now I think everybody kind of chilled out. And I think that there's just so much mixing. So I think that beef is kind of like over, but it's kind of funny. I'll tease my Taiwanese friends, I'll be like, about it. But I actually have a joke about it too. But and then
Do
there's
it.
I want to hear it.
That was no joke, bro. Come on, we need more jokes. So yeah, let's liven up the room. People are complaining right now. They're like, I'm
oh
bored.
No.
What?
oh they want more
Nothing's
jokes. Okay,
boring.
so this
No,
is
we
true
don't.
story. It's true story. I'm walking through Chinatown after I ate food, and I got some leftovers, and I see a homeless guy, and I'm like, "Hey, bro, are you hungry? You want some food?" And he like looks at, he's like, "What's in it?" I was like, "It's food. Do you want? Are you hungry?" He goes, "Is it Chinese?" He literally says that. I was like, "Yo, what?" I was like, "We're in Chinatown, bro." Yeah, it's like, and then I was like, "Actually, it's well, technically, I went to a Taiwanese restaurant," and then he goes, "Oh, that ain't Chinese yet."
He said that in Chinese.
It's a little
No.
uh,
yeah,
not
it's
yet.
mostly a true. It's mostly a true story. Anyway, so um, but about like Southeast Asians, like there's not really a beef. I think some people like to feel stuff like the really super woke like crowd likes to say like, oh, there's
Mhm.
like this uh like East Asians are racist towards like the Southeast Asians because they're tanner skin, and they're not exactly the same, even though there's obviously a lot of mixing over time, but they're not,
Mhm.
they come from different parts of Asia, and it's the East Asians are the rich Asians and they have all the Asian power. And then like, and I'm just like, dude, like I grew up with all Southeast Asian friends in Seattle. I was like, that was never an issue. And I think they're just trying to make it more of an issue than it is, because one thing I'll say is like, you cannot just import,
Mm.
and I use this word import, Western dynamics of black versus white
Mm.
and literally transfer them to Asia. Like, it does not still work. Like literally the exchange does not work. When you take like what is considered racism
Mhm.
or all these things that happen in America and you try to apply it to Asian dynamics in Asia, it does not work. It does not match up. Like
Mm.
like Chinese, when they went to Southeast Asia, a lot of Chinese over past hundreds of years, the
Mhm.
Chinese diaspora, right, mostly Southern Chinese, like Fujian and Guangdong, they went up to all the parts of Southeast Asia as merchants. They didn't like, there was no slavery, there was no like super abuse. They were just setting up shop, and then they become part of the fabric. And then, and yes, in some of those countries, the upper class looks a little bit more Chinese. That is true, right? That comes from the merchant class, it comes from the people who went there. But there wasn't like this system of oppression, kind of like there was in America, not even close to what it was in America,
Mm.
where you have slavery, Jim Crow, all that stuff, right? And I'm like, guys, like this is a completely different dynamic. So like when people say that like, and I had this argument, I'm going to go into this too, but because I
Mhm.
have a lot to say about this, because I feel strongly, I'm like, you cannot do that. You cannot just bring like the colorism in America and bring it to Southeast Asia. Yes, in East Asia, they like fair skin, but it's mostly because you weren't out in the sun. So there's like a completely different reason than like in America, or
Mm.
in other parts. And then there's also this part where like I was arguing with a friend, and people just say this off the cuff. They're not diving into it as deep, but I was like, oh, I'm going to dive into it because you said it. They were like joking. They're like, yeah, everybody's racist, but like Asians are the most racist. And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, no. We're going to have this conversation now that I'm here. I was like, no, come over here.
Damn, this is
Let's break
getting
off of the
Dario.
booth.
Damn, bro.
I was like, I'm going to drill you on this because I was like, what do you mean by that? Well, no.
Mm.
And they're like, oh, Asians are like, oh, they're like kind of racist towards each other. I'm like, okay, so what happens? Like, what are we doing? That's so. Okay, first of all, Japan was racist at a time. I
Yeah,
will say that.
they were, bro. They
After
treated the
that,
Koreans
yes,
badly, bro. They
yeah.
treated very badly,
Hey,
bro.
they messed
Oh.
up to Chinese too, but we just have more people. So, but
Love to the Japanese. Love to the
yeah,
Japanese.
but now, yeah, I mean, you are samurai, so hey,
That's
rightfully
right.
so. You're appropriating their They're most lauded warriors. And so,
There you
but I'm just
go.
like, what I'm saying is like, you can't like, I was like, you can't just say that because if you say that amongst not to non-Asians, what does that look? That looks like you're
Yeah, yeah,
almost
yeah.
selling us out, but it's like not even true. It's not even based in any truth. I was like, what's so racist? Oh, well, my grandma said this thing about like, they're like, old people, immigrants in America say this thing. They'll say these offhand. I'm like, that's prejudice. Everybody's prejudice. Okay. But I was
Hmm.
like, racist. If you're going to say the most racist, are we oppressing people? Are
Right.
we setting anything up? Are we
Hmm.
stopping? In fact, we got all these shops that people come towards. Now, there's interactions within those shops that on individual basis
Hmm.
can be racist. Koreans, shout out. So
We're the worst, baby. I got
yeah,
my
no,
story.
no. But at the same time, you guys are also in there, and there's a lot
Hmm.
of community building too. But there's people always going to point out the downside interactions. Of
Hmm.
course, we get it. Listen, different people interacting with each other. Of course, there's going to be some bad stuff. Oh, by and large, I would say it
Yeah.
mostly works, at least
Hmm.
as an economy, right? And I'm like, guys, we're not stopping people from doing. We have no power over anybody. We're not using our power against anybody. Even in Asia, like in China, there's like a huge population of Africans, and they're letting Africans through. Like Guangzhou has a whole place called Chocolate City. There's like it's
Hmm.
like I'm like guys. There's like I'm like what is you cannot point to anything concrete and tell me. You know what I mean? There's
Hmm.
nothing concrete that you can say that would validate that Asians are more racist. Everybody has prejudice, okay? And of course, old immigrants, when they come to this country and they see just a bunch of faces on the news and that's a particular color that's on the news, and of course they'll say stuff. Like my parents didn't, but I obviously know a lot of parents who have said stuff. But really, what did they do about it? They didn't do anything. It's just stuff they're saying within the house. So I think a lot of people are like, oh, these prejudiced things that people have said, it means they're a terribly
Hmm.
racist. I'm like, yo, your grandma's not terribly racist. Like
That's a
you
good point,
bring,
man. Hmm.
like, probably not. They're just like, they're just old and they just say shit. They're just like,
Right.
ah, scary. And it's like, but you
Yeah,
bring in
it's so easy to label. Right, right.
bring
Yeah,
in a
because
nice
I've heard.
one and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
fine. You
No, but then
know?
like as Koreans, we would say to about the Chinese, you guys are like like kind of like dirtier.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Dirtier and what else?
Yeah,
Like
that's fucked up. That's
cheaper.
fucked up.
Cheaper,
Yeah,
that kind of
yeah.
stuff.
They're
But that's
natty.
not racist.
No.
Natty.
Well, we can say that words can be prejudiced and kind of racist, but like, what does it really manifest? Like, Koreans
Right.
weren't like
No,
waging
but
war
for me,
against us,
exactly for me, racist
But
means like
it's
you
not right.
shouldn't
Yeah,
exist. You shouldn't exist. Our race is the best, or whatever. Right? That to me
yeah,
is
yeah,
racist.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you can even think that your race or your culture is cooler than other people, and you
Hmm.
still treat other people with basic level of respect. And as long
Hmm.
as you're treating everybody with respect, but you go home and talk shit about them, that's not that's pretty fucking normal. Like,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
like of course, I'm sure like you wouldn't want to tell and pass down those thoughts to your kids, because those are just based off your experiences. Listen, if you have a bunch of bad experiences with this group of people and that makes up half of the experiences you have with those people and half of your interactions are like negative, then of course you're going to feel that way, but that doesn't mean your kids are going to feel that way. And it's like, as long as you're not really stopping people, not hurting people, not going up to them in public, not doing like you're still living amongst the people and treating with them with basic respect. I just don't, when we talk about racism back then in America, obviously Black people were not getting respect. They were not treated equally. They were not treated with a basic level of respect. And I'm like, yeah, but that was that time. And then
Hmm.
now I'm like, you're trying to apply that to Asians, like just because the East Asians are lighter, skin. I'm
Hmm.
like, guys, this is, and I'm not to say like all Southeast Asians do this, but I just feel like that there's that conversation where I'm just like, guys, like we really got to peel this back, like
Hmm.
no pun intended to what we were talking about earlier. We got to peel it back.
I was thinking that too, man. Oh man,
We
we're
got to
vibing, baby. We're
fold
vibing. I
it
was
back.
thinking
Fold
that.
it back. You
Yeah.
know,
But Andrew,
I
like
don't know what your
Cisco.
followers are thinking right now. They're like, who is this guy?
I've lost
Why
a
is
bunch of followers. Bro. I've already lost 10,000 followers, bro. It's okay, though, bro. I'm
you had
telling
like
you, I'm
400K.
finding
You had like 500K. It's okay. You'll get them back.
Hey, bro, but Cisco, now that we Asians have risen up and we're getting more powerful and we got through that shit, now the white people have their turn. And Cisco feels like as a young man, he's like, you know, he's getting
No,
I
too
mean, I'm
much. You know?
Asian. Does that count? I mean, I don't know.
no.
He's
How old are
Caucasian,
you?
bro.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
25. So you're Gen Z.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. So I guess like, do you get a sense that you're like, oh, are you white, like white, or are you like
Portuguese.
Portuguese? Okay. Portuguese white passing. Okay. Like a white Latino, I guess.
White Latino, I like that, bro.
I'm not, I didn't make that up.
Bro, that's a good term. White Latino, bro. You gotta use
Wait,
that.
what are you talking about? On the census in America, it literally asks
Okay.
you, are you Hispanic? Are you non-white Hispanic? And I was always like, what's going on? The census has it. They know. So I guess
They know.
do you feel like being like a young white guy is not as cool? Or like, do you ever feel like that pressure that like minority, like everybody's saying, oh, like white dudes this, white dudes that, like, do you get that sense, or like your white friends?
I guess there's
like,
a collective grouping up against whites, and then there was this kind of like, you can't say this, you can't say that, you cannot do this, and then it kind of created in the social hierarchy, like you just had more power culturally, and we just had to shut up. So that was kind of the energy.
Yeah. I mean, I think if there was any like, I think that there was, it happened already. I think the time that, everybody was kind of like, hey, white guy, shut up. Like, I think I'm not saying that time was good, but I mean like that getting past that time is good. Now that I think we're a little bit past it, and people are like, yo, chill out. Like everybody's cool. Like did some people, not even all white guys, need to get a certain message? I think so. I think it was, it maybe shouldn't have been that way, but again, like change is hard, right? We don't always know how progress happens. And I think now we peel it back, and I was never, leading that charge. Or I'm sorry, no, I'm good. And then I was never like super big on like that kind of verbiage and making like people feel bad like that. But I think some people needed to get checked a little bit. And so I like that things have cooled down. And I think it's in a much better space than it was like 3, 4, 5 years ago, when I would be honest, I started to feel bad. I was like, damn, like this guy's nice. Like he didn't need to do that. Like, why are we,
So you think the culture is shifting? You think the culture is shifting?
Yeah, well, I think it's a pendulum that swung. And I think like it was very, very far.
Yeah, wokeism is kind of on the decline, it feels a little bit.
Yeah, well, I think it cooled off. And I think people, it's like a bubble, like one of those things that's like it heats up and then it kind of contracted back to kind of what should be more of a normal, like, side. Now, it might go back down and up, as we can see, like during those past 5, 6 years, it actually pushed some guys to go far the other way, right? And that was not necessarily helpful or healthy, So that's what I feel bad for, So that's what I mean. I don't really think like if I was in charge of it, if I had all the power, it wouldn't have been done like that, right? But of course, that's not how things work out.
It's messy.
So,
it's messy.
It's messy. Like,
do
so
you feel better, Cisco? Feel better, Cisco? Things are turning.
Yeah, dude.
It's just messy,
like,
bro.
I feel good,
dude. If Asian girls want to date you, I don't care.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah,
dude. If
Andrew, hit him up. Can you hit him up? He's a beautiful boy. He's going places, bro.
I'm not matchmaking, by the way. I'm not giving any connects. But if they like you, they like you. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I mean, I think that. I think the playing field just needed to feel like it was getting a little bit more level, and people are a little bit better off now. Like I remember in New York, like I was in New York. I haven't lived here for 12 years straight, but I visited first like 10 years ago. And I've always visited New
Uh-huh.
York, and like
Uh-huh.
I used to get a lot more like tension from white dudes. Like I remember I was on a date with this Asian girl who I would say had that look that would appeal to white guys,
Uh-huh.
which is, I'm not going to describe it, but you guys just kind of know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know.
At least Vibe, you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're
So,
saying.
so I was like at a bar,
Uh-huh.
and it's like a small speakeasy, and I'm sitting there, and we're like, we're getting into it. We're just like laughing and enjoying each other. And I
Uh-huh.
hear over the shoulder, like this taller white dude next to me is like kind of keeps looking over and maybe checking out the girl and how much fun we're having. And he's kind of like, I don't know, I'm not getting great vibes from him, you know? So it's like,
Okay.
the
Uh-huh.
whole, it happened for like a few minutes, like multiple times. He looks back, and then like
Damn.
like almost like he was like shit, like what with him or whatever, like like almost feel like he was jealous. And I was just like, dude, chill. Like you probably get plenty of play. Like get out of my face, bro. And then we went outside. And me and the girl went outside, and we were like, just kind of kissing on the sidewalk because I like PDA and I like to. That maybe that's my Latino side. You know what I
Damn,
mean?
bro. Yeah, baby.
I learned that. I
You
learned
got a
that.
Latino side? Where you usually
Yeah.
hear the Latino side
Dude,
from,
no,
bro?
it's definitely from LA when I
Oh,
saw
LA.
all the Central Americans rolling on the grass together, just loving each other. Like, dude, there's nothing greater than like Central Americans after work getting off, and then they just fucking love each other so much. Like that, it just makes me so happy to see. Like they're on the train and they're just like, mi amor, they're just like,
Bro, yeah, what is up
oh.
with that, bro? What is up with that? They really love
No,
each
they
other
just
that
love each
hard?
other. They're like, yeah, like
Really?
Maria. They're like, oh, Jose. Like, and they're just like, it's like inspiring to see, kind of actually. I love to see it. But anyways, so long story short, every time we used to come to New York, we used to get into it with like white dudes, essentially. Like the only street fight I've ever been in was these tall white dudes from Canada, I think. And they were talking shit, and everybody's drunk. Obviously, there's no girls in the groups, of course. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's just a bunch of dude energy, and so it's just like that stuff has not happened, and like I haven't even felt close to that in like 6, 7 years, And so I think like either those people moved out of New York, or they calmed down, or maybe the whole Asian hate thing kind of like let people know, like, yo, man, like, why is everybody fucking picking on Asians? Like we ain't doing anything wrong. So I think that there's always like these, unfortunately, sometimes change comes from tragedy.
Mm.
And there was some tragic stuff that happened during that time. But I, at least the silver lining is that I did think there was a shift. I mean, there was Asian girls who literally told me to my face that I was the first Asian guy they went out with, and
Me too, bro. Me
and
too.
they had not done it, and something changed in them after
Bro, once you go Asian, you
Asian
don't
hate.
go Caucasian. Once you go Asian, you don't go Caucasian.
I actually
Yeah.
don't even know if that's true. I'm not even
It's
sure
true,
if that's true.
bro. It's
I,
totally true, bro. At least with the girls I've dated.
hey, maybe maybe you keep them. Maybe your retention rate's high. But I'm saying, like, sometimes those big events, right? It's a paradigm shift for people in their mind where they're like, oh, like we're getting like attacked. Like basically, anytime you feel like your people are getting attacked, that is when unity is going to happen. It doesn't unify forever, but there will be a burst and a kind of like a fever of unity for a time, and that's what
You think
happened during
so?
that time. Yeah, it did. It did. Now, I'm not saying it kept like that, but there was like, like
Right.
everybody felt it.
Like
even
9/11. Like
yeah.
9/11. You remember the
No,
vibe?
to be honest, like, yeah, it's crazy to like even compare it to that. But yeah, now that I think about it, that was it was kind of like, when everybody's like, oh, are they gonna intern us again? I was like, yo, they're not. Fuck that. But there was even the fact that people were like worried about that. Some people were like, oh, I'm gonna move to Asia, or like, oh, they're attacking. I was like, so
I remember that. Yeah.
so these types of moments, and sometimes media makes it bigger than it is, but sometimes it really is significant, and it's a time for people to come together and unite, and for community reasons. And out of that, there was definitely some chicks who literally went on a date because I think they like, I don't know if they felt bad that they hadn't gone out with an Asian dude, but they were like, it just made them think about being Asian more. You'd be surprised. A lot of people, men and women, by the way, have not thought about their identity. Like even in New York, they get here and they're like, and I'm like asking them my, just basic identity question. Oh yeah, like where's your family from? Like, which side? And they're just like, I've never really thought about it that way, And I'm like, wow, is it a privilege? This is a question. Oh, I saw this I was at a book talk, which I don't go to very often. But they were like, isn't it a privilege to be able to talk about your different identities? Or is it a privilege to not have to think about them?
Bro, that is fire right there, bro. That is fire. But this is what I'm talking about. That's my evolution, bro. I care. I'm Asian American. I'm Korean American. And I used to really be vocal about that. Even when I was traveling. No, I'm not American. I'm Korean American, right? And then just over time, I just was American. And then now I don't even fully identify with American, I think part of it is like this a lot of work with meditation and Buddhist ideas, right? So let's do something here, Andrew. Andrew, I got a little Buddhist test for you.
All right? Yeah, cool.
Okay, let's see how you answer.
By the way, I grew up Christian. I grew up in a Christian church. I still hold on. I still like a lot of the values. But let's get into some Buddhist talk because I've been thinking about Buddhism
more. Why did you qualify that, bro? You're a little scared.
No, I just wanted to say. I had to rep,
You're getting nervous, bro?
No, I had to rep the team.
All right. Question number one. Were you Chinese before your parents and culture named that category?
I didn't feel very Chinese for the first 15 years of my life. I didn't feel too Chinese, to be honest. Why? It was a little bit of an awakening later. Yeah. I mean, I think my brother,
bro, what happened? You grew up in a Chinese family. What do you mean?
Yeah, but my family is, they speak English, Cantonese, and Mandarin. So I was the third child. I'm the youngest child. My brother and my sister actually grew up speaking Cantonese at a very, very young age. That was actually my sister's first language, but they ended up just kind of focusing on English. And by the time I popped out, I think they just, long story short, it's possible that they thought for a moment that I had a speech impediment when I was younger. So they were like, oh shit, let's just focus on English. So I just got English, and they speak English too. So I'm speaking English mostly with them, but they're also speaking Chinese to each other. And then but I'm just doing my thing. I'm not really thinking about, I knew it, but I guess I knew I was Asian because a lot of my other friends were Viet, Filipino,
but you didn't identify with it. You didn't identify.
No, right? I did. No, we were all Asian. You know what it is? I identified as Asian American earlier than I did Chinese. Oh, and obviously I still am both. I'm still Pan-Asian. I grew up with different influences, and I feel like I'm, I always joke I'm the most Viet person of my family because I love eating pho the most. I love pho, bro. I could eat Viet food. Viet cuisine, I could eat that as much, if not more than Chinese, to be honest. Chinese is still my favorite
here, bro.
But no, dude, Viet food is fire. It's so good.
It's fire. So
and
good, bro.
And it feels fresh and healthy anyways. So yeah, I just felt I think I was Pan-Asian, before I thought really about being Chinese and what it meant. And shout out to my brother for a lot of that because he was a little bit more Chinese. He studied abroad in Shanghai. He went on more trips on his own accord for educational reasons. So him being in Asia right now is actually a full circle. But I guess I was always a little bit more trying to.
But what did you learn from your brother at that time in terms of being? He must have said he traveled, he sees something, right? And he sees his younger brother, and he's like, you got to be more Chinese, bro. But why? Why? What was
I think he wasn't. I think he knew why I didn't. We talk about it later, and it's I didn't see any real upside of leaning into being Chinese at the time. So I had a Chinese American church, Christian church I was going to, but Christian church was kind of boring, you know? And then, so it's not like, and then we didn't live near the Chinatown, but like every time I went to the Chinatown, I'd be with my dad or my family or whatever. So like, it's not like I was really forced to speak Chinese, or it's not that I would unlock any secret, you know, or extra VIP card, you know, at that time. And I think what is slightly different between being Chinese and Korean at this time is that I think the Koreans love seeing another Korean to the point where they're like, Uncle Giselle. Then they bring over more panchan and more dishes. And then, you know, they're like, you know, I've even had that interaction being non-Korean, but they thought I was Korean, right? So I was like, so I knew, but Chinese are not always like that unless it's a very, very small community. And also Chinese is more diverse because we have different types of Chinese, even within China, right? So they're not fully united in the sense of like, oh, you're Chinese. Oh, wow. Another Chinese family. Like, you know, so I didn't feel like I really had an incentive. It's all about incentives and motivation in life, right?
Yeah. But your friends were white or what? Your friends were white?
No, they were mixed. There were a lot of Asian, Southeast Asian, like Viet and Filipino, and then some white and some black. So it was very mixed, you know?
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and the Chinese kids that I knew growing up at that time were not my vibe, you know? I think they're all great people. They're all nice people, but they're not like, they weren't like trying to be cool like us. Like,
bro, that's my experience exactly.
We're leaning into, especially particularly like Black urban pop culture at that time, you know, and that is something that, you know, I'm still influenced by to this day, and I'm still a fan of. But that was what we were leaning towards, you know, and if the other Chinese kids weren't, then like I'm hanging out with whatever kids were. Right. So I think that's kind of like, I just felt very American. My brother was that too, but he also had this like duty to be more Chinese. And maybe it's because he's the oldest son. And maybe it's because he had heard certain things or information or stories about the family early on. One thing I would say that I wish my parents did, they could have done more, is one, they could have taught me more Chinese growing up. But two, they could have told me a little bit more about the background and our story earlier. And I think that, I'm not saying I would have flipped right away, but I think I would have been a little bit more interested, just a little bit more, you know, so because it's all about interests, motivations, and incentives. Guys, listen to the non-Asian guys in the chat. It's like, I always use this example, right? Because there's like all these like non-Asian dudes that like learn Chinese or Korean, right? And I'm like, yeah, guys, if every time I opened my mouth and spoke a language, everybody would clap and be like, oh, shit, I'd probably learn that language too. If every time I spoke Spanish, like, hey, ¿qué lo que? ¿Cómo estás? People would be like, all the Latinos would be like, I'm getting fluent real quick, you know?
So true, bro.
Because interactions, it's incentive and motivation. If every time you open your mouth, it's like a good time. I'm not saying I'm not saying you get treated like a king necessarily, but it's a fun time every time you speak. I'm like, that is a little extra motivation to learn that language. So,
but that's such a flip though, Andrew. Like, when did you start becoming super Asian, let's go guy?
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Think like, but you know what's funny is like, I don't even think I'm that traditionally Asian. It's just like, I want to talk about it. I want to be almost a tool or a mouthpiece or this narrator or this kind of third outside perspective where I'm not fully traditionally Chinese. So I had to I got checked on some of my Chinese stuff. David would check me on my Chinese pronunciation, be like, yo, you can't just say it like that. You gotta like try to say it right. I was like, oh, you're right, bro. Like, I can't like just, you know, kind of take for granted. Like, I got to take it seriously, you know? Or,
interesting.
So yeah, that's some of the stuff that happened internally, but ultimately like having a passion for always wanting to talk about it and always wanting to break it down. And again, like David, like as far as Asian America, I think that was what I was more passionate about at that time. And then I get older and I'm like, oh, and I learned more about being Chinese and all the other Asians, of course, but I'm just like, yo, it's really, damn, we do got a lot going on, and there is a good reason why
Mm.
we need to rap and be maybe part of a bridge of understanding, because if I, as a very ABC, I call myself very ABC, right? American born Chinese. And amongst Chinese, if you're talking to like a FOB or immigrant or international student, right? You'd be like, oh, I'm ABC. That's how I say. Like, you know, I,
Mm-hmm.
I'll speak some Chinese. That's like not great, but I try. It's decent. And I'm like, oh, well, it's because I'm ABC. That's why. And they're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, okay, you're ABC. So it's kind of a way of identifying, being like, hey, I'm ABC, but I'm not gonna tell you, oh, I'm fully on your squad, but I'm like, I'm on both squads. Like I'm cool with
Mm.
both. Like I want you to know,
Mm.
type of thing. And I'm sure within the Korean community, it's a similar thing
Mm-hmm.
where it's like you
Mm-hmm.
don't feel fully Korean, right? But you're not
Right.
like, you don't want to just put it aside, right? So, and you want to be like, can you speak Korean
Mm-hmm.
still?
That is terrible. It's just like that. Dude. Even if I say ABC, they'll be so ashamed of my Korean at this point.
But
Yeah.
you can communicate.
Yeah.
Like if you meet another Korean in Brazil, you guys can talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's so hesitant.
Yeah, it's a little rusty. It's a little
Google
rusty.
Translate.
It'll be.
uh, so, but yeah, like, so I feel like now at this stage being like a bridge, on like the ABC side, reaching out, I think
Mm.
that's kind of what I'm good for.
Mm-hmm.
Like I
Mm-hmm.
think I could do it, and hopefully I've helped a little bit in that way. Um, and so those are kind of the different missions that we
Mm.
think about, and now my brother's in Asia, so he just went. He was like, "Yo, I'm going back, circling
He's
back."
where's he? He's in China or Bangkok, I heard.
So
Yeah.
he moved to Bangkok first, and then he
Uh-huh.
moved to Ho Chi Minh, and he's making more frequent trips back to China now that he's so close. So it's funny. I always say, "Hey, man, you didn't go to the motherland. You went a little bit below, and now you're making your way back up."
Wow. Hey, Andrew, you're like all about the culture, right? Like, so at this stage in 2026, like rank it for me. Who's the coolest, like white, Latino, black, Asian? Where are we? Where are the Asians in terms of like coolness and like, like tell me, you're the culture guy. I want to
Ah,
know. Yeah. Where are
I
we, bro?
think.
Hmm.
But okay, so we do have to, are we ranking like everybody's top 20% or something? Because I can't rank the whole thing. It's too many people. We got
Whatever,
so
however you want to take it. However you want to take it,
you
because you
want me to
clearly
rank
thought about
them?
it.
I'm gonna rank them. I gotta
Like
see
in
who's
terms of
I
different
gotta
fashion.
see
Who's around
I gotta
him?
see who's around me.
All right.
Um okay. Koreans. I'm just kidding.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Korea number one. Korea number. No. I think of the Asians. I mean, I'll say like Japanese have not failed to fully lose their crown as the best Asians, but they're dwindling in numbers, and I
Mm,
feel like
that's a problem.
most people are going to say the coolest, swaggiest Asians are going to be Koreans. I think Japanese still are the most interesting Asians, and
You think so?
I think
Wow.
Chinese are actually considered some of the nicest
Mm,
Asians as far as definitely
mhm,
as far as being boyfriends. So I heard a
mhm.
lot. I've heard a lot that Chinese boyfriends are the best, but and I think
Oh
Chinese
shit.
are also
Mhm,
considered very smart, but still climbing up there as far as coolness because Chinese got cool a little bit later. But Filipinos in America have always been cool Asians. Like they were the coolest
mm,
Asians for me growing up. Before
mhm,
before the K wave and stuff, and in certain ways, I still think Filipinos are they're still pretty cool. They got like they got the best like crossovers in basketball and stuff like that.
mm,
I
mm.
think Viets are rising. I think everybody else is rising, and um,
But what about compared
uh,
to like white people? Are we cooler than white people as a group, as an Asian group? Are we cooler
as
than
a
white people?
group, uh,
Dude,
We're
white people
still in
suck.
last place. Is that what you're telling me? Black,
personally,
Spanish, white,
no, no, no.
Asian still?
But we're talking about in a American media standard, not my
Mm,
standard. Is it
mm-hmm,
my standard?
mm,
American media standard, the global standard. It's
mm.
still still these guys, the white looking. But then I think, and I still think, yeah, I think black people are really cool. And then I think Asians and Latinos are really kind of, I think they're head to head now.
Whoa.
No, and what I mean by
Damn.
that
That's cool.
is that
That's good to
is that
hear.
you've seen footage of a BTS concert in Latin America.
Yeah.
It is some of the biggest concerts. You know what I mean? So it's not just to say that BTS represents all Asian culture. Of course, we know that, but it's like I think that on the global scale, I think Asia and Latinos are seen as, if not, some people will put
Mm-hmm.
Asians ahead because of the economics and the kind of like manufacturing and the invention and even TSMC's importance. Like Asia's kind of seen now as like the future or a huge
Mm-hmm.
part of the future, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And not to say that Latin America's not, but it's just like because what they produce is not as trending right now as far as like the technology of AI and all this stuff, right? So essentially, you're going to need Asia for AI, right? That is it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I guess I'd say like on a coolness
Mm-hmm.
swag level, I still think it goes maybe even black ahead of white. You know, black people are kind of
Mm-hmm.
the cool
Mm-hmm.
black person is like kind of the coolest person
Right.
in the world.
Right. Yeah.
Like MJ, Kobe, we all know this. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like those are
Mm-hmm.
global. Like you know, Michael Jackson, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
So
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, as far as coolness, just pure coolness, I do think that it's a little closer with the Asians and the whites than it was previous generations. I really think so. I think it's close because the the
Yeah,
whites
baby, let's go.
the whites have had the whites had a lot of bad PR the past 10 years, you know. So
That's one way to put it.
and the Asians had good PR. So that's how I describe it. Yeah, I don't know.
Gavin, what do you got for us? Go ahead.
And the Eastern teachings like yoga, Buddhism got way more popular. And
Mm.
all that meditation shit is from the East. I'm not saying it's
I
Mm.
from
mean,
East
straight
Asians
up.
necessarily. It's from India, you know. It's
But
from
Straight up.
why don't
Buddhism.
the Asian Americans do this shit? Like, I don't see a lot of woo woo like me kind of guy
There,
thinking about
there,
consciousness.
there's,
There are a
I
lot.
think there's a growing number. My friend is he's really big on it. And I see that it's growing because I think that it's funny. A lot of Asian Americans that are
Mm-hmm.
very Americanized, a decent portion of them did grow up going to some church for some
Mm.
amount of
Mm-hmm.
time,
Mm-hmm.
some Christian church.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, and when you kind of take a step back or you distance yourself from a religion, I think at the end of the day, people are still going to be looking for something spiritual, something, whether it's internal, whether it's supernatural, something, you know, however woo woo you want to get, which I'm like woo woo level very low, but like
Mm.
I do like some of that. I do like and I value it. And I think that, you know, meditation is important. I think that's cool. Breath work is great, blah, 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 that stuff. Um, but so I think that I still think people still reach for something spiritual. Now, whether it's the Abrahamic religions or it's Buddhism or if it's
So, what's your
all
belief?
these other
What do
things.
you believe? What's your framework of the world in terms
Yeah,
from the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
spiritual side?
No, I mean, I
Yeah,
would
what is it?
say
Mm-hmm.
I'm like a progressive. I don't want to say agnostic Christian, but I would say progressive Christian. I think that's the
A what?
easiest. A progressive
Agnostic?
Christian.
Oh, progressive Christian.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the without using too many words, you know. I
Mm-hmm.
still believe, but I have still tons of questions. I still have some faith there, but I don't think it's like I don't believe. It's hard for me to take seriously everything the way that the the way that the conservative people want to interpret things. You know what I mean? And
Mm.
I think it's the book is meant to be interpreted over time. And if you believe in God, then God knew that. You know, you can't write everything about like gun laws and the Bible and you know like all this advanced stuff that we abortion. Like they didn't talk about abortion really. You know, it's not very explicitly addressed. So I think a lot of it's still up for in interpretation, and I just believe that God is just, and so that's the overarching belief. But yeah, I'm not gonna be on the corner like preaching, and I don't go to church every Sunday, but I do notice when I do go to church, it kind of feels good, or when I talk about it, and that's why I was kind of excited. I was looking forward to this talk because I knew we were gonna get to some stuff like this. I was like, I don't really get to share this stuff a lot.
Oh, beautiful.
Because sometimes it's a little bit like intimidating. You're like, I don't want to
This
start
is
bringing up
Vibe
religion
Sesh,
on the channel.
bro.
Yeah,
Vibe Sesh, bro.
And I'm not even high, baby. I'm not even high. So, yeah, but this is stuff I've definitely thought about. I've even had recent conversations about. Like, okay, I'm not saying anything controversial here. This is just my belief, So it's like I think a lot of those principles are good. Now, with that, everybody's going to say, "Oh, Abrahamic religion has caused a lot of trouble." Blah 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 blah. Yeah, listen. If we judge things on how many people died at the hand of that religion, by the hand of man, by man using religion as an excuse, then of course, there's a lot of destruction that's in the histories of all the religions of Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, But I don't judge it based off like things that happened 1,000 years ago. I'd rather base it off my life, modern society, how it fits into modern society, what it does for me, how it what I've seen it do in other people's lives. And so, with that said, I wouldn't say I've gotten into Buddhism, but I've definitely looked more into it because I have a good friend who's he's very, very pro Buddhist teachings. He's not even like supernatural Buddhism, which there's different levels to Buddhism.
I want to learn that
Is
shit,
there?
bro.
What about what
He's
about like
levitating? Levitating?
Like this? Didn't he stare at a rock and look through it? I don't know.
Dude, no, all the teachings are super practical. It's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So that's good. So that's why I think. So that's why I think, and this is my hot take, although America has become successful under Christian values, which I think it should still keep in some way. But I think the country could use a little bit more Buddhist teachings for sure, man. I think it's great. I think more of this, Eastern teachings are becoming a lot more prevalent. Listen, if Navy SEALs are doing it, if they're doing breath work and meditation, if UFC fighters are doing all these great American Western warriors, the most brutal people on earth, the strongest men, are doing these type of things that come from the East. I'm like, then, great. It looks like it could be time for a blend. So I want to ask you, you guys all kind of study it, right? Or on some level, right? So what are some Buddhist teachings that you think could be implemented in America on a large scale? Let's just say, you can just say state by state, or you could be on a country level. Let's say you're president, right? And you got executive orders that, as Donald Trump has shown, you can do whatever you want.
That's a funny thing to think about. I mean, I think everybody could benefit from a little bit more mindfulness. State mandated mindfulness is really fucking fun.
What does that look like? Let's paint a picture. Let's just go.
Mindfulness is just like pay attention to how the bottoms of your feet feel real quick, and then like, can you trace that feeling up to your knee? Can you how does it feel to like breathe in and out? Just like the very finite feelings of what it means to be here and now really alleviates the anxiety from being like the anxious of what's about to happen or the fear of what happened, And I think being in the like moment is what it's about, because it doesn't leave. There's how Vibe Samurai says it sometimes is there's like a gap in between thoughts, and that gap is where freedom truly lies. So how can you take a moment to be mindful, to be exactly where you are? I feel like people go through their entire life without ever having a breath of understanding what they're doing or why they're doing it. They just kind of are in the motions. So I feel like this is also where a lot of suffering and a lot of mistakes happen. And I feel like there would be a lot of healing, especially in relationships and identity and all of this stuff that we've been talking about, if people could just take a breath and understand where we are. Mindfulness.
Okay, mindfulness. So let's just say in schools, kids start practicing mindfulness at a younger age. Maybe let's just give it an arbitrary age. I'm just saying,
Sure.
let's implement it. Like let's.
I mean, in like the so like I have like a Taoist teacher that it was based in New York. He's a beautiful man. And he even like the first thing he taught me was something that he said he teaches children, which is like a simple walking meditation. And all it is like every time you pick up your foot, you breathe in, and every time you place your foot, you breathe out. And just the action of coordinating your breath with your movement forces you to be in the moment. So that's where I would start. I would start in physical therapy or PE classes. I would start every session with a walking meditation.
Wow. Okay. I like it. I like it.
Yo, but Andrew, he's right. I agree with him. Like he's talking about mindfulness. I'm talking about like meditation in general. Mindfulness is a type of meditation, right?
Yes,
And what he was talking about was there's this great phrase, right? We learned that it's not Viktor. You know Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning? No? Okay. So this guy, anyway, so he's the guy, long story. I won't even tell you his story. But he said something really amazing. He said, because most people are running automatically, right? Like it's just conditioning and every day they're doing the same thing. And so between stimulus and response, right? Stimulus, you know, like you make me mad, I'm going to say, fuck you, right? You say to me, Bruno, fuck you, you do something bad to me. And I say, fuck you. Okay? That's stimulus. You stimulate it and there's a reaction, right?
Yes.
So what he's saying is between stimulus and reaction, there is a gap. All right?
Yeah,
There is a
there's a
gap.
gap.
There's a gap.
Right.
And
like you do something
gap,
to me, there's a moment.
There's a moment, and in that moment is your freedom to choose. And in that freedom is where your growth lies. Right? Think about it. Because every time you're in that gap, bro, every time you're in that fucking gap, bro, that's where your choice is. So no matter what situation you're in, let's say you're being tortured. Let's say you're being tortured. They took away all your freedoms. But guess what? There's one remaining freedom. You get to choose how you view that torture.
How you react.
That's advanced.
So
that's advanced, right, Gavin?
That's advanced.
It's good. It's good.
But you see what I'm saying? So then what happens is you're trying over time, as you get better and better, you're trying to widen that gap.
That's the practice part.
That's the practice part. So widening that gap and living in that gap as much as possible in your life.
Yeah, it's like milliseconds, and you want to increase it to seconds. And
wow. Okay, so that's really good. Think of a practical exercise that you could teach kids or old people in America.
But bro, this is happening. This is happening. What is it? There are programs. There's people talking about mindfulness training for kids.
I have a friend in New York who actually is a meditation teacher, and he actually is using it in schools. So I sometimes talk with him about it. So I mean, he might be another cool person to chat with. Maybe
get on Vibe Sesh.
Yeah. So. Okay.
I could give you a very simple one right now if you're interested.
Okay. Yeah, go for it. Let's do it.
Sure.
So if you can you place your phone so you have your hands free?
Okay. Go ahead.
Place one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest. Breathe in and see how the breath goes from your belly to your chest. Breathe out what happens. That's the practice. See how simple? See where it put you? It made it so silent so quick. Because
Damn.
notice what I did at the end. I left space for curiosity. This is the
Like, what is
important part.
going on, right? What am I feeling? What am I feeling? You're in that moment, right? You're in the, and it's through your body. You're breathing in and out the air. Damn, bro.
So
Oh,
this is a gift from me to you. This is a direct thing. This is a direct practice from one of my teachings.
Dope. I like it.
I hope you use it. It's beautiful, isn't it?
No, it's awesome. Yeah, I think it's even just the physical kind of signals you tell yourself, because it's not something you usually do. So it's like, hey, why don't you just breathe right now? You know, and just do that. You know, it's great.
Yeah.
See, stuff like that. Who would have thought? It's just breathing.
Right?
So that's the beautiful part of mindfulness. Mundane things become extraordinary.
Exactly, bro. Bro, you're just in the moment. Like, I'm fun. Bro,
Dude.
There's this guy who died of cancer a long time ago. He was on the David Letterman show. I'll never forget. I made a video about this. The David Letterman said they were close friends, this rock star. And the rock star was dying of cancer. So it was going to be his last interview. And they were close. So David Letterman asked him, hey, man, you're going to die, obviously. And so what can you tell the world about what you learned during this period, knowing you're going to die? And he said, just eat a sandwich. That all he wants to do is eat a sandwich, bro. Eat a sandwich, you know, just eat that fucking, like, really eat that fucking sandwich. You know what I'm saying? He's like, eat a sandwich, like, and really eat that sandwich. That's what we're talking about, this mindfulness. But you get there, bro. You really get there. And it's so peaceful in that, because you're non-reactive. You have time to think. You have time to not.
Yeah.
But
so,
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Go for it.
No, okay. Well, this is why the practice part is so important to me, because in my experience, yes, getting there, fucking beautiful. How difficult is it to stay there, dude? Like, I can be there, like, for a moment or two, but then I come back to this reality, and then I have, like, fucking my chores, and then these obligations societally, my job, and then there's so many things that bring you down. So it's important to have, like, I love a sitting practice, or just like a formal kind of practice. And then there's a post practice where throughout the day you just kind of remind yourself of where you got earlier in that day. And
that's awesome.
This is where I talk about practical. Do like 20 minutes a day of a genuine, like, you know, transmission kind of practice changes your life.
Yeah.
Can't even describe it.
Yeah. No, it's been good ever since, you know, this whole journey of even, I think martial arts, getting back into martial arts was part of it for me too.
You're getting buggy choked by everybody, huh? Just saying.
Well, can I give you like maybe a secret of mine when I sit down to do Buddha practice?
Okay.
I say I invite Jesus to be with me.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because you grew up Christian too, right, Gavin?
Absolutely, yeah. I invite Jesus to be with me, because the interesting thing about Buddhas, or the Buddhists that I've met, they all recognize Jesus as Godhead Buddha. That's what they say.
As Godhead Buddha, okay.
Godhead Buddha. What?
So you're saying Jesus was Buddha? They were the same?
Jesus.
So this is the way I see it. So Buddha means awakened man. It's a man who just awoke up halfway through his life. I believe Jesus, being the Son of God, was born awake. He didn't have to go through the conditioning process to uncondition for liberation. He was already fucking there when he came out the womb.
Ooh. Damn.
And so, like, and then, you know, we have no idea where Jesus was for the first 30 years of his life. He just popped up and was like, here, check out this fucking wisdom. I'm going to change the world. You're forgiven, bro.
Damn.
You're forgiven.
You're forgiven, bro. That's the line.
Damn,
you're forgiven,
son.
Bro.
Damn.
So, bro, you are forgiven. Forgiveness is the truest love,
like,
bro.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So even though the practices themselves are practical and atheistic, this is where the spirituality comes in, where I think Jesus is my main squeeze, to be honest with you. So I always invite him to be like, yo, JC got to be right next to me. He is the rock, bro.
Hey, Buddhism's just a side chick, by the way. This is what
No, don't be calling Buddhism side chick, bro. Come on, bro.
Like,
side chick plays a very important role. Let's be honest.
No,
bro,
but okay, but
I don't want to play that role, bro.
We're talking about like how black and white Western
yes.
iconography is.
I know.
I think that there is definitely room for nuance in terms of
yeah.
And this is what I mainly learned from my like Taoist teachers. Like, from my understanding, he follows the Tao in that he's kind of created his own culture by cherry picking what works from every other culture. And you see Bruce Lee do this in like mixed martial arts. Bruce Lee was the first person to be mixed martial arts because he did the same thing.
And the UFC, you know, like you go.
I mean, technically, if I mean, I want to say that Bruce Lee was the first UFC fighter because he was the first mixed martial arts fighter. He was the first one to break discipline. And I think that there is incredible wisdom in the breaking down of tradition. I think that truth, every true holy man was like destabilizers. Like
a rebel, I mean,
how
Jesus
many
was
wars
a rebel.
Jesus? Yeah, absolutely. You know, there's that story of him like you know, like at the front of the fuck, the words are leaving me, but
it does. He was throwing the table. I mean, he wilded out.
Yeah,
he was, yeah, he lost it. Yeah, he was mad. He's mad at the corrupt.
And then he gave that. Oh, go ahead.
Corrupt authority. Yeah, he hates it. Yeah.
But then he gave that crazy speech of like, I have come not to bring peace, but a sword. I will divide like sons from his fathers and daughters from their mothers to follow me, or something like that. You know, from Matthew.
Yeah.
Which I think about that a lot because like truth. Well, you know, here's another fun anecdotal story that I heard somewhere where, let's say the God and the devil were walking down the street and God points to the ground and says, hey, look, there's truth right there. And then the devil picks up the truth and says, here, let me organize that for you. Let me put it in material for you. So God being the formless, the devil being the form. But they coincide because one can't be without the other, because we can't get to divinity. We can't get to the formless without form because of our incarnation, because of our humanism.
Right. Because we're humans.
Damn. It's getting fucking deep in here,
Damn,
man.
Gavin.
Damn, Gavin. What the fuck? Hey, Gavin. So what do you think? Let me ask you something, because you're so wise. So we've been talking about Asianness, right? Like, and you hear this is all because we're both Asian Americans. What do you think of the conversation so far? Because also now that we're talking about Buddhism, right? Let's talk about identity, right? Because in Buddhism, it's about stripping all your identities, including being Asian, right? That's an identity. Right? Yes. And so I wanted to talk about that, and how do you feel in light of what we were talking about being Asian American and all that? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so where my mind goes to is earlier, Andrew, you were saying that someone told you that they've never had to think about their identity before, and it never was an issue. It was never an issue, and the question you posed is like which side is is it better to be privileged? Can you remind me of
is it privilege to not have to think about your identity for your identity to not be an issue, or is it more privilege, or also privilege to be able to have and exercise multiple sides of your identities?
So this is. Yeah, absolutely. And okay, so maybe here I will admit my own privilege, because I am one who has never I've mainly have avoided. Maybe there's a big avoidance, and here's why. Nobody likes the guy who's being proud of being white.
Yeah.
Nobody likes the guy who's proud of being white, you know? And like I understand it's fucking hateful. But it oftentimes is very hateful. So it's very interesting to me to hear you guys talk with like passion and pride from where you come. So I ask you this: what use is it for me as a cisgendered straight white male to even contemplate my own identity?
Right.
What use is it for me to contemplate that?
So that's a good question. And you know what's funny is like, even when I was in grade school, like, or I was in high school, and there was literally this white kid who I grew up with, and he wasn't a bad, like, we were all cool, played sports together, but he was always questioning. It was like, how come like we can't say white power? How come we can't say white power or like white pride? And I just knew the historical context, but honestly, because he wasn't like a horrible person himself, I didn't really have a great explanation. And then he ended up literally getting white power tatted on his belly.
That's crazy.
Now maybe low key, I think his parents were kind of racist, but like, or prejudiced in the household or whatever. But like, he was okay. Like, he was okay. He wasn't my best friend, but he was okay, right? And then when he did that, a lot of like the Asian and minority kids were like, yo, we were like, we know something's weird with doing that. And we like couldn't fully explain it. And we were just like, what? This is stupid.
Right.
Anyway, so that's so what I want to say is that it's a complex question. And I thought it was funny when you were like, oh, you know, I'm a white guy, and you know, like saying white pride is always been toxic and bad. And it's like, you know, like, it's really funny because I think when everybody thought it was really bad, it was obviously there's a historical context, right? Like with the white power, that white power. That's power. Like, yeah. So obviously, right, anything that is a reference or like it takes from something horrible in history has a bad connotation. Like, dude, the Nazis took the swastika. The swastika obviously is not a bad symbol. Now it's a bad symbol. You turn it a little bit, or like even so what I mean is like in 2026, if we're really gonna have a conversation about it, I'm like, you can be proud of being white if you know what being white is, and if that doesn't block out other people. Like, I'm not trying to say you can't be an Asian shit. Dude, you might speak Mandarin better than me. There's tons of white people who speak better Mandarin than me. That doesn't mean they've lived their life as a Chinese person. It doesn't mean they'll really know what it's like. But aside from that, they can move to China. They can speak Chinese. I have to just accept, like, I'm not going to be the most Chinese person on earth. And I'm literally not. You know? What if a Korean person is raised in China? Well, fuck, they're just more Chinese than me. Like, whatever. And like, really, what we're gonna look at the blood. Okay, the blood, sure. You know, you're not you won't be of the Han people though. You know, so it's like, but it's not like. So what I mean is like, I think if you were to say like, hey, I'm proud of European culture, and I think like I've watched enough of the.
We lost you, brother. No, brother, we lost you.
You turned off your mic, I think.
I'm back.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, so like I've watched enough of like, I've kind of had these conversations where I'm like, I don't like, it's just the phrasing that's a little bit off because it has a historical context. But like, I think you can be proud of your European, but you have to be specific of what it is. You know, like I can point to the things. That's why, you know, or black people can point, or like Caribbean people can be like, oh, like I like Caribbean culture. It's like this, the islands, you know, whatever. And I'm like, cool. So I guess like, you know, and I think that actually, right, people actually have a lot to be proud about. I think it's just that when they used to scream that, it was like because they were about to go lynch some black people. That's why. Well, I was so that's why we have to like change. You know, we got to do like a repurpose.
But this is where I'm stuck because I'm not proud of European culture, dude. Like our food sucks. Like McDonald's and I mean, I don't even exactly know what American food is.
I mean, you want me to convince you?
Capitalism.
You want me to convince you that European? Well, I mean, we're all the world speaks the language. Well, it's the best language for the world to learn. Honestly, it really is.
That's beautiful.
Super interchangeable. You can incorporate all these different words. The alphabet system is great. Like I'm just saying, kind of like. Objectively, I think it's a pretty good language.
Oh, and this is maybe where most of my ignorance and privilege will shine because Well, like I've been conditioned to not speak up, especially when I grew up. And I was 16 in 2016, whenever that first presidential election happened.
Right,
And I
right,
was
right.
living in Washington, D.C. in my most formative years. I
Uh-huh.
was never like that. Being in the political storm as a kid at that time, I think really influenced my ability and confidence to even speak about most politics. God
Yeah,
forbid identity politics, because
yeah.
like where the fuck do I stand in if nobody
No,
like
no, I understand. Yeah,
given the historical like tainting.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
don't
Mm.
You, I
know.
mean, it's interesting that you guys grew up at a time. I'm assuming you're similar age, right?
I
26,
was 20.
25.
I'm 26. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know what? That's an interesting perspective. You growing up at a time where the identity politics were so heated, you didn't even get
Mm,
a chance to get a word in. You were just sitting on the
exactly.
sidelines, being like, "Can I talk? Should I
What
even
did I
say
do?
anything?" You're like, "Should
Yeah,
I?"
exactly. Oh, we lost you again.
Sorry. And then it's like
There we go.
you're like on the sidelines, being like, "What should I do?"
Hmm.
Like, is this still my country, or am I
Mm.
still of
But
the dominant group?
guys,
And and
guys.
and
Mhm,
and that's
mhm.
okay to have those thoughts. And what I mean is, to wrap this up, I guess if you want language, like functionally something, a takeaway is like, I don't know, I don't need to say yellow power, Asian power. If I say that, it's almost in like a half joke, in tongue in
Mhm.
cheek.
Sure.
But I think like
Tattoo.
to be proud of
Mhm.
of dude, so many white dudes died for America to be this great. Like, are we just gonna
White
overlook
people,
that?
True.
come on, guys.
True.
Are we
Let's
gonna
look.
overlook this?
Today is
Like,
White
dude,
Pride Night.
no,
Are we getting
Okay.
no,
canceled?
no,
Are
no,
we
So
no.
getting
It's
canceled?
funny.
Don't tell us
No,
about
it's
White Pride
funny
Night.
but it's also the reason why, and we all know the reason why it's not cool for you to stand up on your soapbox and say that is because it's
right.
like redundant, because we're already like, well, you're already like tall white guy because you just chill out, like we get it.
Yeah,
Like
let the
you're the
Asians say that.
default.
I
Yeah,
can
you're the
say this about the
default.
white people.
Let
Yeah.
let me let me show acknowledgement and
Yeah.
keep it real.
Mm.
Um, and yes, oh, burgers are great. To be honest, we don't have to overlook burgers are top tier.
I mean,
Seriously.
true. True.
So
Thank you.
I
Thank
had a
you.
burger
and
earlier today.
well,
True.
we're what we're just gonna overlook rotisserie chicken. Like, come on, like
Hot
no,
dogs.
see, these are
Okay.
top tier hot
You're
dogs.
right.
Yeah, sure, sausages,
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'll
but like,
pass on the glizzy.
but Tex-Mex, we're just gonna pass over.
Woo!
Okay,
We
true.
can't pass
So
on Thursday.
I
So,
lived in like Texas for a while, so barbecue,
dude.
Tex-Mex, all that hits
Yeah,
straight home.
yeah. Well, barbecue, I think it's just because so much of American culture overlooks, like, if we're going to give it, attribute it to white people, we got to also attribute it to, like, kind of shout out to the Native Americans, for
But okay,
barbecue
no,
or
but this is
whatever.
the
You know what
thing.
I
This
mean?
is
Like,
my
it's
biggest
it's
quarrel
tough
with
because
yeah,
it can
American
it
culture.
can
Go ahead.
always keep. You're right that sorry to cut you off, but what
No,
I
no,
think you're
no.
about to say is like, this is your, sorry, go. Okay, you just go and then I'll respond.
No, are you no, no. Sorry.
You
No, just
finish. Go,
No,
finish.
Andrew.
No,
but no,
no.
it's
This doesn't count as a white guy interrupting me. It's okay. Go, 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 dude.
okay, no, but this is my biggest quarrel is that like all of white culture is just stolen from other people's cool shit. But at the same time,
So
right? Or is that an ignorant perspective? Tell me.
I don't. I think you're not giving enough credit, and I don't think you have to
Okay,
stand here and convince people because we're all speaking English, dude. Who the fuck came up with
true.
fucking sidewalks? I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was like in Britain, in London, they had sidewalks. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
cars. Now, Japanese may have made more efficient cars, but literally, you guys invented cars. So, like, I don't know. It's all these things. Like, I think,
Yeah,
like,
like are you talking about Europeans right now?
you're,
Like
you're
you
European people of
guys?
European ancestry.
Well,
Mm.
see, like
You know what I
that's
mean?
so far removed from my own identity. Like I don't even
Mm.
consider Europe
Okay.
like as a part of myself,
Well,
and even though
okay.
technically speaking, you know.
Let's take a more modern rock and roll.
Okay, bet,
Mhm.
but
What
even
the
still stolen by black blues and jazz.
stolen, inspired by rude. It's
Gavin, is there one thing you like? Is there one thing-
Well,
yeah.
but this
Well,
is the
anyways,
thing.
all right. You know
But
what?
this is why I'm
Let's
challenging
You
so
got a
hard.
Vibe
Okay.
Samurai.
all right. Let me just say. All right. So I got to go. So we this has been very fun, but I'm not trying to convince you of anything.
No,
If you
yeah.
feel like that you like other cultures more, or you find the great thing about America and the great thing about identity and globalization is that we all get to pick and choose. Okay. There are Japanese people
Right.
in Japan that are dressed living like Chicano, like,
Mhm.
you know, with hydraulics and like
Right.
essays, like, what's
Yes.
up, fool? You know, and then there's all this globalization of culture. And like, if you like Buddhism, Asian culture, Asian food, you like Asian girls, whatever. Like that's great. Like you can, you know, in a healthy way, you can, that's fine. Like you don't have to stay white. I'm not
Right.
telling you to be white. You know, just like if I want to start a barbecue shop or make burgers or
Right, bro.
you
This
know,
is what I'm
have
saying. We got,
kids,
Absolutely.
bro.
have
We
kids with
got,
a Ukrainian person, like
bro. This
it's
is where
all
we want to
good.
get. This is where we
Mm,
want to get. We want to get to
mm.
a world where these identities are fluid, man. You know what
Yes,
I'm saying?
yes.
We can't be
So,
grasping
Exactly.
to
Thank you.
anything. I'm
well,
Asian. I'm
well,
Latino. Bro,
well,
hold it loosely. It is your history. It is your culture. But let's like let everybody be who they want to be, and just
hey,
that's part of it. You know what I'm saying?
if the last 5 years has taught us anything, you can be whatever you identify as. Okay. So
Yes.
fuck it.
Right,
So
damn,
go
that's
for
actually
it.
good,
But
bro. I
just
get
do
it
it.
now. I'm a
Do
leftist
it.
now.
No, but do it thoughtfully. Do it mindfully, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Thank you.
You don't
yeah.
There
have
you
to
go.
become, you cannot
Mm,
become
mm,
a Chinese ABC, even if you love ABC
yeah,
culture, you
yeah,
know, but
yeah,
you don't have to be. You can just
yeah.
appreciate it, you know. So
Andrew, you gotta
yeah,
go.
what's up? Well,
How much time?
let's wrap it up.
Yeah,
I
one
mean,
more
like,
question,
let's,
bro,
let's do it.
because this is very important. This is called the eternal loop question. We ask all our special guests.
Oh my
Okay.
God. Okay, this sounds so complicated. All right, let's do it.
No, bro, it's very easy.
All right. All right.
No. Your answer is going to be very enlightening.
Okay.
The eternal loop question is: if you can relive one moment or experience on loop forever, eternally, okay, and you're going to be happy with this decision, you're not going to get tired of it. You're not going to even know you're in this loop because you are so, you know, you're loving it so much. So, what would that moment or experience be? Think about it for real.
All right, so I got like two answers.
Mm.
One is a little more self-focused, but I think they're both very equal in the sense of like when I think about just a moment recently, I'll just think of like in the past 5, 10 years. There was at this basketball charity game where I hit this game-winning shot over this guy. It's like a crazy Kobe shot, like a pump fake pivot, and then I'm like reaching, I just get it in, and it was so fun in that moment. And it's like moments like that, or like scoring a touchdown, that it's almost like you feel like a superstar for like 20 seconds. You know, you turn into an NBA player. Like I just hit like a game 5 like buzzer beater, you know, or game 7 buzzer beater to win the series, you know, like a Kawhi Leonard shot. If you guys are familiar with that. And it's like, so that's cool. And that's like on
Oof.
a kind of like euphoric dopamine, you
Mm,
know? And
mm,
then I feel like there's the serotonin answer where it's like, I
mm.
think just like, you know, I like, you know, I've been meaning to spend more time with my parents, and I don't think I'm short on time with them. I see them quite often, but like, just like seeing them healthy and just giving them both hugs and seeing like, um, my sister's family, like, and the nephews growing up, like that's when I go back and see all of them together. There's like a, moment of, it's not as like celebratory as like hitting the game winner for myself and my own
Right,
glory, of
right,
course,
right,
right? But
right,
it's also like, dang, like my family is still here. They're still healthy.
right, right,
You know,
right,
they're still like my parents still, I
right,
think, love each other. You know,
right,
they're still together, and
right.
I'm very fortunate for a pretty solid family structure, at least, you know. And so,
Bro,
because
so
I talk to a lot of
beautiful.
friends,
That was beautiful.
and we know like by now a lot of our friends, their parents have been divorced or
Right,
they
right,
passed on, or they never liked, or they always argued with their
right.
father, or they still argue. Like I got a good friend who like constantly argues with his dad, and he got and his dad has cancer. And I'm just like, dude. And he's just like,
Damn.
and he's like, it's been that way. So maybe it keeps things lively too. Listen, I don't know, but I'm also just like, from my perspective, I'm like, damn, I wish you could communicate differently. I believe in you, but then like, it's also not my place. Like you guys have a whole history together that I'm not aware of, So I'm like, all right, so
Bro, but these eternal loop, two of them, amazing. But let me ask you this: in these two eternal loops, it says a lot about like you're super present in these moments, right? That's one of the things, right? You're really, really
yeah,
present at that game-winning shot, or
yeah,
when you're with your parents. Bro. But like in any of this, so that is kind of like where you feel most alive as a
yeah,
human, or you know what I'm saying? That's what it
yeah.
identifies. That everybody has a interesting answer, bro. Every answer is interesting. What they choose, right? But what I'm saying here, going back to finalizing the whole Asian identity thing, in those two moments, is there an Asian Andrew or no? Are you even thinking about identity or your Asianness? Is that important at all? Is that your essence? Is that where you feel most alive? Being
In
Andrew
those
that,
moments,
yeah.
I mean,
No.
it's involving Asian people.
No, but you're
Um,
not. That's not what it's about. It's not what it's
no, it's
about.
not. It's not about it,
That's
man.
where we gotta get the world to, bro. Bro, like appreciate
Hey,
everybody's background, experiences,
all right,
history,
man.
food,
That's
culture.
it. You convinced me. I'm not talking about being Asian anymore, man. I'm past it. I'm
No,
done.
bro. Talk about being
I,
Asian. Just don't grasp.
identity does not exist. We are all much more than it.
Exactly.
Fuck it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Fuck it, bro.
no. Sometimes you gotta say that. Sometimes you gotta say that.
Yeah, you're
You
right.
do.
You're
Yeah.
right. I agree.
You can't live in this thing for it's even me. Yeah, I said I let it go. Like I'm just like, no, I'm just like I don't want to always think like, oh, I can't do it, I can't do that, and people see it this way. It's like it also just things are changing. Things are much better than they
Yeah.
were, and just the world
Exactly.
is changing.
Exactly.
So okay, cool.
Awesome. Bro, I know you have
Man,
to go, bro. This was unbelievable. Our best vibe sesh ever, bro. I love you,
Thank you.
bro.
New York
Let's keep in
City.
touch. New York
This
City,
is
bro.
very
I'm
Shout
this
out,
is
missing
shout
you.
very New
out.
York. New York right
Yeah,
here,
Yeah.
baby.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
baby. This is
All
awesome.
right. Yo,
All
thank
right,
you
baby.
guys. Yo,
Thank you
it
so
was a
much.
really good time. It was a really good
Hey,
time.
All
Appreciate you
right.
pleasure.
guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, buddy.
All right.
Peace. All right,
Peace.
Cisco and Gavin. How are you doing, guys? Who?
Woo!
Pretty good, boss. Pretty good.
Gavin dropping the sauce at the end. That was
Dragon, you stay stealth mode. He stays stealth mode. And
Dude, I felt like, oh man, I don't know. I didn't feel like I had a lot to say at the beginning. I don't like, as I said, it was kind of hard for me to relate a little bit because I've
yeah,
never
me
felt
too.
pride about being white.
isn't that
Never felt.
interesting though? Right? Like you guys don't feel bad because you're
Hmm.
not
I would just
supposed
say
to. You're
try.
not supposed
I
to
feel like
feel
the
that.
mob mentality of
Mm.
that,
Yes,
you need
there was a
to
lot of fear.
unlearn it because, man, like all you can think is self-negative. And
Yeah,
like,
well, but that's
if
kind of why I
everyone else
wanted to.
can say
Oh,
they
go
have
ahead.
pride, and if you're
Mm.
doing it in a not, I'm not going to hurt anybody kind of way, like
Uh,
that, isn't that incredible? The mental control they give.
Yes, bro, it's so
yes,
incredible, bro. But what if
yes,
So
man.
I would say,
Uh,
hey, don't dunk on it too much, because like you, I mean, with narratives, you can
okay,
always make it sound bad, but you can always like, there's so
okay, but
much good that has happened.
but that's what you said. With the narratives, you can always make it sound bad, and I feel like I didn't mean to be such a doomer, but I feel like that's kind of where I was trying to push it to, because no
Mhm.
matter where you identify with, there's always a wall that you hit, and then you always hit that suffering of, oh, this compared to that, or this, I'm this or that, or the thing that we've been talking about. And so I kind of was trying to get it to the point that Bruno was making, that he came home with, was like, I don't identify with being white, man. I
Mm-hmm.
like, and then I was gonna put it to maybe the flow state, like,
Mm.
whenever you enter the flow state, you kind of identify with the action as opposed to like an idea.
Yep.
Exactly, bro. All
Mhm.
that
I didn't
shit
get it
disappears, bro. Right?
Mhm.
exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And what does that place feel like? Amazing. It's peace and all the
and I think
Mhm.
that's more true than all of these stories, that are playing in our heads. But and because all of the stories that are playing in our heads are most of the time doomer thoughts, man. So I was trying to be like, I didn't really mean to dog on Americans that bad, but I was just trying to be maybe like an advocate for them.
Yeah, you were leading it towards like, you know, we're all a consciousness behind whatever skin we do have. I guess I look at it too from like a freedom of speech aspect, because like you basically just limited what I could say.
Yes.
But I'm in a nation where I could technically say anything, no, even heinous, even evil. Like I am still allowed to say something, but there's this control that happened where I couldn't even have an opinion because my ancestors oppressed people. I'm like, I didn't do that.
Yes.
Bro, what did you guys think of the eternal loop connection? And then like I bang with the identity thing. Hey, is the Asian there?
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
That's
the
you
action
brought it to
was,
presence,
man.
You know?
Cut it right to the bone.
Bro, guys, this was amazing. Gavin, thank you so much for showing up too, man.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad that I was able to contribute a little bit to the end.
Same, brother. Me and you were just watching as two white boys. They're having all this fun. I'm like,
next time scream out white pride, dude. Bro, next time scream out white pride. It's all recorded. It's okay, bro.
No, dude.
Bro.
NASCAR.
I'm gonna close up the room, guys. All right, but it was awesome, man. Thank you, guys.
Vibe Sesh.
Amazing. Peace.
Thank you.